What if the greatest alien world isn't in space, but hidden beneath our oceans? We dream of exploring Mars, of sending ships to distant stars, of finding alien creatures on worlds beyond our own. But what if the real aliens are not light years away, but right here, lurking beneath our seas, in a realm darker, stranger, and more dangerous than anything in the cosmos? More than 80% of Earth's oceans remain unexplored. In those vast black abysses, sunlight never penetrates, pressure crushes steel, and silence stretches for miles. And yet, life thrives there. Creatures glow with eerie light. Beasts drift with transparent bodies. Predators sprout teeth like glass daggers. But some scientists, and many sailors, whisper of something beyond even that. Monsters so colossal, so ancient, that humanity was never meant to witness them. What if our planet hides leviathans beyond imagination? Why is the deep sea still a mystery? We pride ourselves on technology. We've split the atom, mapped the genome, sent rovers to Mars. But our own oceans defy us. The reason is simple. Pressure. For every 10 meters of depth, pressure increases by 1 atmosphere. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, 11 kilometers deep, it is over 1,000 atmospheres. Imagine the weight of 50 jumbo jets pressing on every square inch of your body. Machines collapse. Submarines implode. Even titanium bends under such forces. In the darkness, electronics short-circuit. Communications fail. Every descent is a gamble. And so, we have mapped the surface of Mars more thoroughly than our own seabed. Satellites scan other planets, but sonar maps of the ocean floor remain patchy, incomplete. In the abyss, the unknown waits, not by accident, but because the ocean itself keeps it hidden. If we know so little, then what horrors might already be there, unseen, waiting in silence? Do legends of sea monsters hold fragments of truth? For as long as humans have sailed, the ocean has terrified them. Sailors spoke of krakens rising from the depths, their tentacles coiling around entire ships, dragging men screaming into the dark. They told of serpents so long they could wrap around masts, of glowing eyes that stared up from beneath the waves. For centuries, these were dismissed as myths. Tales to frighten sailors or explain disappearances. But then came the giant squid. Once believed to be fantasy, the giant squid is real, reaching more than 40 feet in length, its eyes the size of dinner plates. Even larger, the colossal squid lurks in the Southern Ocean, heavier and more powerful than its cousins, with hooks lining its tentacles. What was myth became reality. And if some monsters of old turned out to be real, what of the others? Could the sea serpent, the leviathan, the dragon of the deep, still be waiting for discovery? Perhaps the line between folklore and science is thinner than we think. How big can life in the abyss grow? Evolution in the deep follows rules unlike those on land. In the darkness, where food is scarce, some creatures shrink, becoming ghostly miniatures. Others, through a phenomenon called deep-sea gigantism, grow to impossible sizes. Isopods the size of dinner plates crawl across the seabed. Jellyfish stretch longer than blue whales. Squids grow into giants, their tentacles capable of crushing prey as large as sharks. But what if even these are only the beginning? What if in the Hadal trenches, places no human has ever seen, creatures exist larger than any myth, predators that dwarf whales, silent hunters that never need to surface? If they exist, they are masters of a world we cannot enter. We may glimpse them only in fragments, sonar echoes that appear and vanish, strange shadows sliding past submarine lights, nets torn apart by something unseen. For every story of a colossal squid caught by accident, how many greater predators escaped unseen into the black? What about the bloop? In 1997, Hydrophones, underwater microphones spread across the Pacific, picked up a sound. It was low. It was deep. And it was loud, so loud it could be heard thousands of miles away. Scientists called it the bloop. At first, some speculated it was biological. A creature, vast beyond imagination, making a call unlike any whale or fish. Later, the official explanation became ice fracturing. But the mystery remains. The bloop did not match any known geological event. It was unique. Its profile looked organic. Was it truly ice? Or was it the cry of something alive? Something so vast it shook the ocean itself. And if it was alive, then what was it calling to? Why do some shipwrecks vanish without a trace? The ocean swallows ships every year. Storms rage, currents pull, and time erases. But some wrecks vanish in ways that defy explanation. No debris. No bodies. No lifeboats. Some suggest currents scattered them. Others claim human error. But what if there is another possibility? What if predators patrol the trenches, so massive they can drag entire ships down whole? What if those ships became prey? Every missing vessel, every fleet that vanished without explanation, could they have been accidents of weather? Or were they feasts? Could ancient creatures still survive below? Extinction is the rule on land. But in the ocean, life lingers. Species survive for millions of years in secret. In 1938, fishermen pulled up a creature thought extinct for 65 million years, the coelacanth. A living fossil, its kind had swum with dinosaurs. Yet it lived still, hidden in the depths. If one species can cheat extinction, why not others? Could plesiosaurs still glide through trenches? Could mosasaurs still hunt in silence, unseen for 65 million years? The deep sea is a time capsule. Perhaps it holds not only fragments of the past, but living giants of prehistory, beasts that should have died, but never did. Do we still glimpse them in the modern age? Even in recent decades, witnesses describe encounters that sound like nightmares. Fishermen tell of nets shredded as if by something vast and unseen. Submariners speak of sonar contacts larger than any whale, appearing from the black, circling, then vanishing without trace. Some deep-sea explorers report shadows passing just beyond the lights of their submersibles, shapes so large that the mind struggles to comprehend them. One moment, a wall of darkness looms in the water. The next, it is gone, melting back into the abyss. Even satellites, scanning the oceans from above, sometimes record strange anomalies, shapes hundreds of feet long, just beneath the surface, only to disappear in the next frame. Too big, too structured, too fast to be ordinary marine life. Are these coincidences? Faulty readings? Or are they fleeting glimpses of a hidden bestiary, monsters that reveal themselves only when they choose? Why do ancient cultures share the same stories of sea monsters? The Leviathan of the Bible. The Midgard serpent, Jormungandr, in Norse myth, coiling around the world. The Maori tales of Taniwha, creatures that lurk in rivers and seas. The Japanese legends of Yumabozu, giant spirits that rise from the water to smash ships. Different continents. Different eras. Yet the same story, colossal beings rising from the abyss to challenge humankind. Were these myths simply imagination? Or were they warnings, memories of encounters with real leviathans? Creatures seen rarely, but seen often enough that stories thread across cultures, across oceans, across time? If so, then humanity has been haunted by the deep for millennia. Perhaps we tell these stories not as fantasies, but as survival, to remind each generation that beneath the waves lies a kingdom not meant for us. Why are the ocean trenches so perfectly suited to monsters? The Mariana Trench, deepest place on Earth, plunges 7 miles down. If Everest were dropped into it, its peak would still be a mile beneath the surface. At such depths, pressure is crushing, darkness eternal. It is a realm that belongs to nothing we understand. Yet life survives there. Microbes cling to vents spewing boiling chemicals. Transparent fish drift in impossible silence. Crustaceans scuttle across the seabed, armored like creatures from another world. If small life can endure the abyss, why not giants? Vast predators could patrol the trenches, unseen for millions of years. Down there, they would never need to surface, never reveal themselves to human eyes. For every ship that passes above, perhaps shadows follow silently below, watching, waiting, indifferent to our fragile world. What about the strange disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle? Planes vanish. Ships disappear. Crews go silent mid-transmission. Explanations range from storms to magnetism to human error. Yet some suggest another possibility: the triangle hides predators. Could there be something in those waters, something vast, something territorial, that swallows vessels whole? Not storms, not waves, but hunger? If leviathans hunt the deep, then perhaps the Bermuda Triangle is not a mystery of magnetism. Perhaps it is a feeding ground. Why do some sounds in the ocean remain unexplained? The Bloop is not alone. Hydrophones have recorded dozens of strange noises in the deep. Julia, a haunting moan. Upsweep, a repeating pattern rising and falling each spring. Slow down, as if something massive were dragging across the ocean floor. Official explanations blame ice, earthquakes, shifting plates. But some remain suspicious. These sounds are vast, powerful, and sometimes seem too deliberate. Too alive. Could they be voices? The songs of creatures larger than imagination, echoing through the water, far beyond our reach? If so, then we are eavesdropping on an alien choir, one not from space, but from the abyss. What if some shipwrecks are not accidents at all? History records vessels swallowed without warning. The USS Cyclops, a Navy ship in 1918, disappeared with 309 men aboard. No distress call. No wreckage ever found. The SS Waratah, the Titanic of the South, vanished in 1909, 211 souls gone. Flight 19, 5 torpedo bombers, disappeared over the Atlantic in 1945, their radio calls ending with chilling words: "Everything looks wrong. The ocean looks strange." Are all these accidents? Or are some the result of encounters with predators beyond comprehension? If the ocean hides leviathans, then perhaps these wrecks were not claimed by storms. Perhaps they were claimed by hunger. Could humanity's exploration awaken something we should not disturb? We are reaching deeper than ever. Deep-sea mining scrapes the seabed for rare metals. Oil drilling bores into abyssal rock. Submersibles dive into trenches where no light has ever reached. But what if, in our hunger, we disturb something vast? Something that has slept for millions of years, unchallenged in its domain? Would it rise to defend its kingdom? Would it remind us that the ocean does not belong to us, but to them? Perhaps the true danger is not that monsters exist, but that one day, our machines will wake them. Why would humanity never be meant to see them? Because some truths are too terrible. If leviathans exist, they would shatter our illusion of mastery. They would remind us that Earth is not ours. It is theirs. Revealing them could devastate industries. Fishing fleets would collapse. Coastal cities would panic. Naval power would be meaningless in the face of predators the size of mountains. And perhaps governments already know. Perhaps expeditions have seen too much. Perhaps the silence is deliberate, chosen not to protect us, but to protect the lie that we are the planet's rulers. What if the deep sea is not part of Earth at all, but another world entirely? The abyss is alien. Its creatures glow like stars. Its predators sprout teeth like crystal. Its landscape smokes with volcanic vents and rivers of methane. Perhaps the deep ocean is not simply Earth's last frontier. Perhaps it is another planet entirely, hidden beneath our feet, with its own rules, its own kings, its own nightmares. And if monsters rule there, then we are intruders. Trespassers in a kingdom that was never meant for us. And what happens when the abyss decides to rise? One day, the silence may break. Mining machines may pierce too deep. Submarines may intrude too far. And something ancient may awaken. Imagine it, a shadow breaking the surface, longer than skyscrapers, eyes burning with bioluminescence. A roar that is not heard but felt, shaking oceans and skies. Humanity, helpless, realizing too late that the myths were true. Perhaps the end will not come from the stars. Perhaps it will come from below, from the very waters we thought we had conquered. And so the question remains: are there monsters in the deep ocean humanity was never meant to see? Perhaps the abyss hides its secrets for a reason. Perhaps the ocean itself protects us from the truth. But as our machines dive deeper, as our hunger for knowledge grows, one truth becomes certain: the day will come when the ocean shows us what it has kept hidden. And when it does, we may wish we had never looked.